Samantha is a well-known actress and she is quite famous not just in South India but throughout the country. She is well-known. And she posted an Instagram story in which she claimed that she was inhaling hydrogen peroxide in a nebulizer, and she was advising or using this as an advice to others, and she was encouraging others to follow the same if they have any infective diseases. So after seeing this, a doctor responded to Samantha and this became a huge controversy. In this video we are going to see what Samantha said and what the doctor said, and how this became a controversy and how the news media covered this particular incident. This is YouTurn. I'm Ramasamy Jayaprakash. Samantha is a huge star. She is very popular because she acted in a lot of hit movies, blockbuster movies with all the big heroes. So she is very well known. In fact, she is a household name. That's how famous and how big she is. So she posted this particular Instagram story in which she was giving a medical advice. That medical advice was usage of hydrogen peroxide, and she was advising people who have infective diseases. What does that mean? We don't know, but going by the context, it could mean something like a common cold or a cough or something like that, maybe a chest congestion, something like that could be the infective disease that Samantha could be referring, but that was not clear. And she says people who have this infective disease can use hydrogen peroxide in a nebulizer. Nebulizer, we all know, is a device. It is a medical device used to take medicines. Doctors usually prescribe some form of medicine to be inhaled using the nebulizer, and they'll also teach us, the doctor or the pharmacist will teach us how to use this particular device. So Samantha is telling us that we have to use nebulizer and we have to use the chemical hydrogen peroxide to inhale, and this should be done by people with infective diseases. And she finished it up by using a hashtag which said alternative medicine. So that triggered Abby Phillips, Syriac Abby Phillips. He is from Kerala and he is a doctor. He is a hepatologist by profession and he has been practicing for a decade, more than a decade now. So he saw this and he made it a point that he had to respond to it. And what he said was, this is medically wrong. You should not be doing this. Samantha is plainly wrong. Using hydrogen peroxide or inhaling hydrogen peroxide is dangerous for the human body, and it could actually inflammate and infect the lungs. If you do that, you will be inviting trouble to yourself. This is what Dr. Syriac Abby Phillips said. And while saying this, he also made one particular statement. And that statement is, if India were to be a scientifically progressive society, Samantha would be charged with endangering public health and she would be fined or even put behind bars. This was one statement that triggered Samantha, and she was quite rattled by this one line, and she gave out a 3-page response, 3-page statement she put out. In that, she basically defended herself by saying, I've used this method. This is something that I personally have followed with huge benefits. I got good recovery doing this, and this is also very cost effective. Many people will not be able to afford costly medications or costly tablets and everything. So I found this to be cheap and very effective, so I told this to the public. This was the response given out by Samantha, and she also pointed out that this was recommended by 2 doctors which she named in that post. Along with this, she also mentioned that Dr. Syriac Abby Phillips' response was rather provocative and very harsh. So it was basically something like, this mean doctor told I'm wrong. That was basically it. That is what Samantha said. After this 3-page statement, Dr. Syriac Abby Phillips, who goes by the name LiverDoc, since he is the hepatologist, he goes by the name LiverDoc. He responded that I cannot play to people's emotions, or I cannot please people's emotions. I have to say the things that I need to say bluntly, very clearly, and I should not have any inhibitions in doing so. I'm paraphrasing, of course. This was the message he put out. He said, I cannot pander to the emotions of the public who spread misinformation, and my only job is to educate the public as to what good health advice is and what is not. That was basically the gist of the response that Syriac Abbey Phillips gave. And also, he followed it up with another post. In that post, he went after the two doctors that Samantha claimed to be the experts who gave that particular advice to Samantha. So, in these two doctors, one is called Dr. Mitra, and Dr. Mitra is actually a doctor. He is a doctor by profession. He has the required degree and everything, but he is not actually practicing medicine. This is the criticism from LiverDoc, mind you. He is not actually the doctor. He is not practicing medicine as of now. What he is doing is not medicine at all. He is indulging in some things that are not qualified to be medicine. He is doing treatment protocols such as ozone therapy or IV therapy and many other things like that, which are not approved by anybody, which is not proven to be safe, which is not proven to be effective. All these are the things that Dr. Mitra is currently doing. So it is not fair to take him as a serious doctor from whom you can get a good medical advice. And then there is another doctor called Dr. Jockers. He is a naturopath. He is not the MBBS doctor, or he does not have any medical degree. He is a naturopath and he is practicing that. And he is a fraud. He does not say anything more. LiverDoc just plainly calls him fraud, and he says the lesser said about him is the better. And these two people are not the kind of evidence that one should be giving when giving out advices like take hydrogen peroxide. It should be backed by some kind of actual evidence, but there is no actual evidence to claim that hydrogen peroxide is beneficial and inhaling that will improve a person's health. On the contrary, it is proven to be very harmful and detrimental for a person's body. In fact, during COVID-19 pandemic, many people in the US started using hydrogen peroxide and they were inhaling it left, right and the center, and many people ended up being more sick than they were before. So the Asthma and Allergic Foundation of America had to give out a statement advising people not to use hydrogen peroxide, not to inhale hydrogen peroxide using a nebulizer. All this was done in the past, very recent past, not too long ago. So, having seen all this, now come and advise people to take hydrogen peroxide would make any doctor angry. So, that is how the liver doctor, Dr. Syriac Abbey Phillips, got angry, and he responded that nothing doing, all these are false, don't follow this. And the funny thing is how the news media covered the whole thing. The news media covered the whole thing like this. Dr. Abbey Phillips apologized to Samantha. That is the kind of reporting that is going on right now. And if you read the content of those news articles, many of the news articles had this in their content. It simply said, Samantha gave a medical advice as to taking hydrogen peroxide using a nebulizer. Dr. Abbey Phillips criticized Samantha for this. Then he further apologized for his comments. This is the gist of many of the news articles. It did not go into what Dr. Syriac Abbey Phillips said. He said many things in his rebuttal to Samantha. He said, I cannot pander to emotions. I have to say things that are true. I have to say things that are beneficial for the public, and I have to give out proper information because my job is to keep people safe. These are the kinds of things that he said. It is a very long post. While saying many of these things, one line out of many, one line is, I apologize to Samantha if she felt hurt. And it was not intentional. That was one line out of the whole text. But news media outlets chose to highlight that one particular line alone. Most of the news articles did not feature the content before and after that. All that is ignored in favor of this one line. And that was it. That was the kind of reporting that was done. Even reputed news outlets such as The Hindu, they came out with a headline which says, Liver Doctor apologizes to Samantha. This is the kind of headline even The Hindu came out with. And Liver Doctor responded with a criticism in social media, and the headline alone is changed now. The content of the article is not changed. Okay, so why is this doctor creating so much problem? What is the issue with Liver Doctor? why he is going after Samantha? The answer is he is not going after just Samantha. He has gone after many people in the past, many famous celebrities as well. Even Virat Kohli was not exempted. When Virat Kohli gave out a medical misinformation, he criticized Virat Kohli as well. So this is what LiverDoc does apart from his regular practice. He fights medical misinformation and social media. He writes day in and day out as to the kind of medical misinformation that is there in India and the kind of fakery and quackery that goes around in the name of alternative medicine. Okay, what is alternative medicine? To summarize, he has said this over many videos and many articles over time, but to summarize, it is like this. It goes something like, there is medicine on one side. This medicine is evidence based, this medicine is science based, anything and everything is clinically tested and clinically proven, and anybody can test it and replicate these results. So this is medicine. And something else is on the other side, that is called alternative medicine. Alternative medicine is not tested, not regulated, and nothing, there is no science in it, nothing is there basically. And it is called alternative medicine, and it actually causes more harm to people than any help at all. And these alternative medicines goes by various names: Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, Homeopathy, any of those things under the Ayush ministry basically. And other things such as tradition based medicines or faith based medicines, all those practices are pseudoscience and period. That's nothing more to it. It is all pseudoscience. They are not actual medicine at all. This is what LiverDoc says, and this is what he fights against. So when he does what he does, the kinds of response that he gets is quite shocking and quite alarming as well, because he is threatened with defamation by none other than the Ayush ministry. The government, the entire machinery of the government goes after one doctor because he is fighting against medical misinformation. There are many companies that are indulging in profiteering using these false practices and selling false supplementary products. Lot of companies are doing that, and they are promising so much, like, if you take this supplementary item, you have supplementary drug, you will have these kinds of benefits. One drug will do wonders for you, will do miracles for you. These are the false kind advertising many companies do, and they sell supplementary products. So Dr. Abby Phillips goes against these companies as well. So when he does all this, those companies also file a defamation against him, and some even ask for gag order. And strangely, Karnataka High Court also gave a gag order sometime in the past. Very recently, they gave a gag order against LiverDoc, and his social media account was suspended. And he had to go for the appeal in the same High Court, and then only his account was restored. That is the kind of playground where Dr. Abby Phillips plays. As a society, we have to think, do we have scientific temperament? Do we value science? Do we value evidence? Do we value science-based medicine? Do we want to fight against medical misinformation or medical malpractices in the name of so many things that are going around? Do we want all that? We have to ask ourselves that. Thank you.